There were 3 big contested races in Wellesley March 7 for the annual town election. Voters had to pick only 2 of 3 candidates for each of Wellesley's most prominent governmental bodies, the Select Board, the School Committee, and the Natural Resources Commission. Odessa Sanchez was making her 3rd bid for a seat on the Wellesley Select Board. She was up against 2 incumbents running for re-election. Sanchez is a teacher's aide and coach of the cheering squad at Wellesley High School. She is also vice chair of the Wellesley Housing Authority Board and a town meeting member representing Precinct E. Sanchez serves on the town's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Task Force, as well as the Wellesley Historical Commission. And the question we're asking all the voters who are coming out this morning is, what's the most important race you voted in? And I have a feeling I know what the answer is there, but...
Yes, I mean, I have a very close relationship with the housing community and with anybody that's disenfranchised in this community. I grew up in public housing in Newton, Mass, and I've lived here in town for 15 years in Wellesley Public Housing. So my role as a Housing Authority Commissioner is very warm to my heart because that's what I'm passionate about. But I really do believe that the most important race for me to be involved in is the Select Board race, only because the legislature and just the visual imagery of having a person of color in a race that actually is looking over some of the governing bodies of our town, I just think that it will trickle upward where just so many people will be inspired to become involved, to actually vote in our election so we don't have 25% participation. I mean, we're trying to get the activists enrollment up, and we're trying to get people who are actually civilly engaged, but also engaged with their community, not just in running for office or volunteering for a campaign, but just being involved in their community and caring about things that happen, like Oakland Street, like the Tailby lot, anything that affects your community. I think that you should want to know about and get involved in. So I'm just happy to be involved in it as a constituent and as a candidate. So I just think it's great for Wellesley.
It is great for Wellesley, and this is your 3rd run too, right?
This is my 3rd run, and I just think that the 3rd time's the charm. But I just think mostly people seeing me out there, me getting a platform, it's becoming so now I'm getting to know people. My support base is growing, and I'm starting to find that there's more people who appreciate my resilience than just the fact that what the outcome was. They just like the fact that I don't give up and that I'm unstoppable and I keep trying. So I just think it's a great message for anybody who's trying to do something and they have like a dream or a passion. Don't give it up. Don't be discouraged. It doesn't matter how much support you have, as long as that you keep believing in yourself, because support will come and go, but I just know that for myself, I'm staying true to myself. I'm never changing how I think about an issue. This is me. I'm always going to be the same way, and I think people appreciate that.
I'm sure they do.
Thank you so much.
Elizabeth Sullivan Woods is a marketing and strategic planning professional who runs her own business. She grew up in Wellesley and served as a town meeting member as well as a member of the Library Board of Trustees before making a successful run for the Select Board. As a Select Board member, Woods serves as liaison to the Council of Aging, the Recreation and Playing Fields Task Force, the Board of Health, and to veterans and the business community. Tom Ohlfelder, an attorney, has served for 2 terms on the Select Board and has been the chairman and vice chairman during some of those 6 years. Ohlfelder is currently vice chair of the committee heading up the school committee's plans for the Hardy, Honeywell, and Upham elementary buildings. He has also represented the Select Board on the town's Sustainable Energy Committee and headed up the board's effort to fund the town hall renovation. In another hotly contested race Tuesday, challengers Christina Horner and Neil Glick were running for 2 seats on the school committee. One of those seats is being vacated by a member whose term is expiring, but the 2nd seat is held by incumbent Catherine Myrick, who was running for re-election.
One of the reasons that I'm supporting Christina is she has more than 27 years of experience in education, in running equity programs, and in working with educational institutions on how to bring excellence and equity and diversity into their school systems. She's worked across the nation as a consultant for institutions that are focused on education and focused on diversity in education.
In a race for 2 seats on the always hotly contested Natural Resources Commission, there were 2 incumbents, Michael D'Ortenzio and Martin J. McHale, seeking re-election.
Well, Michael is an amazing young person who has been in town politics, doing all kinds of stuff for a long time. He got elected to town meeting when he was still in high school.
Wow.
I know him personally, and he is a very capable person in many, many ways.
Jaden Crawford was challenging the incumbents for a seat on the commission.
The NRC is responsible for all of the town's open spaces. It's one of the few commissions in the Commonwealth where the one body is in charge of both passive recreation and active recreation. And the folks who I'm speaking to and who are reaching out to me, really concerned that the current commission has spent about 70% of their time only focusing on sports fields, and mostly only a few sports fields. And people are really concerned about climate change. We really need to protect our open spaces, our tree canopies. And I'm speaking to a lot of folks who have young children, a lot of older folks who use these open spaces for passive recreation and not just sports. It's important for bird watching, people going for walks to use these spaces as well. And I think there's a frustration that people really want to see change. They want to see some accountability, and that's not just in the NRC. I think we're seeing this townwide, to be honest, that people want to see boards being accountable. They want to know that when they speak to their elected officials, they're being heard. Across the board, people are really wanting to see folks who promise to be accountable.
In addition to the contested town-wide races, voters could also cast their votes for candidates seeking a wide range of offices, but who had no opponents. Those included town moderator, board of health, housing authority, and most of the town meeting members running for seats in their precincts.
You voted, but we do want to find out what was the most important race that concerns you going into the poll today.
I wasn't really concerned about any of them. I hate to say that because I feel like everybody who's running is trying to do their best. So I'm pretty pleased that we're very lucky.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.